All right, who's ready for a train wreck of a video? Hey friends, Ash here with Gent Ten. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about 10 different powerful fragrances, ones that have great projection, longevity, all that good stuff. Maybe you'd call it beast mode. Yeah, if you're one of the enlightened intellectuals, I prefer to call my powerful fragrances beast mode. But no, they're not just powerful. They also have fantastic dry downs, which is actually kind of important. If you got a fragrance that's really powerful and lasts for a long time and the dry down smells like toilet water, that's not great. Unless it's maybe like a really clean toilet, like one that just... So let's jump into it. Let's check these out, shall we? So most of these are going to be better for fall and winter. And that makes sense. I got nothing else to add to that. Let's get it kicked off with Eros Eau de Parfum from Versace. Now, this one is right there in the middle. For me, this is like the Goldilocks of Eros fragrances. It's not quite as in your face in a sweet way as the Eau de Toilette. It's maybe not quite as refined as the Parfum. It's right there in the middle. It splits the difference. So you can wear it pretty much anywhere. It's got mint, vanilla, ambroxan, and and some woods and apple. Ooh, that was almost... I got a habit of just like flipping these bottles around, and man, that was close. So this one has that compliment factor in spades, turned up to 10. People love Eros. Now the Eau de Toilette's the most popular, but for me, like I said, the Eau de Parfum being not quite as bubblegummy in your face, a little bit smoother, a little bit more rounded off, but still having fantastic performance is the way to go usually. And as that one dries down, it's got that people-pleasing, modern, ambroxany, woodsy feel with a bunch of residual sweetness from the opening. Smells great, unless you're a hater of Eros, and then I guess it doesn't. But guess what? You're in the minority, pal. I'd better be in the minority than be a sheep. Next up, Why Le Parfum from Yves Saint Laurent. This one is a little bit redundant if you already own the Eau de Parfum, but I love them both. So for me, I think get them both. Apple, tonka, sage, and lavender, some of the notes in the scent here. Blue fragrance versatility to a T. You can wear this anywhere, anytime, any season, day, night, office, date, casually, to a strip club if you wanted to. Bowling, playing golf, going to see a football game, concert, going to see your grandma, going to Thanksgiving, going on an airplane, going on a boat, just doing anything, man, doing anything. So like I said, similar to the Eau de Parfum, if you like that, you should like this. This one, a little bit more mature, not a whole ton, but a little bit more buttoned up, a little bit smoother, you could say. Let's do a switch up here. Next is Zadig and Voltaire. This is him. Incense, sandalwood, pepper, and vanilla. Some of the notes in this fragrance right here, quite different from the first two. So the first two fragrances, they're made with mass appeal, front of mind. That's exactly what Eros and Why Le Parfum are going for. They just want to be, nice smelling to as many people as possible. This one's incense. It's dry woods with the sandalwood and the pepper. It's got vanilla, so it's got a bit of sweetness in there, but not at all like the last two. Surprisingly though, it still gets really good positive attention, even though it's very different from your typical mass appeal type of scent. Really, really like the way this one is blended. That vanilla does help take the edge off enough to make it wearable in more situations than you might expect. And actually not a bad price either. I had discounters for that one. And it's not super cheap, but it's not that bad. This next one though, it's expensive. Yeah, buckle your belts, boys. This one's, it's pricey. It's Sauvage Elixir from Dior. Yeah, that slaps. This one's got cinnamon, it's got sandalwood, it has lavender. This one, it's got a little bit of an 80s vibe to it, this slight 80s throwback feel to it, and I'm here for it. I love 80s fragrances. Now, it doesn't smell straight up like a fragrance from the 80s. Now, a lot of people have compared this to Drakkar Noir, but they're quite different when you put them up side by side. Actually, a lot different. But you can still get that kind of inspiration, that 80s vibe, just peeking through, a little bit of that retro feel coming out in Sauvage Elixir. I really, really like it. It lasts forever, projects, heavily. The opening for some people can be a little overwhelming, especially if you go too heavy. Once that thing dries down, it is a stunner. Stone cold stunner. Like I said, the price on it is rough. It ain't cheap, but it's worth the price. It's one of those fragrances where at least, you know, yeah, you paid up, but when you smell it, you can go, yeah, there's quality here. You know, it lasts. So you're getting your money's worth. You can go 2 sprays on that thing and it's gonna go a long way. Oh, what is this? A random Mancera has made its way into the list. It's red tobacco. I'm gonna link all these below. This one I'm gonna link at Twisted Lily. Guess what? You know what's coming, Gent Ten. Yeah, save yourself 10% off at twistedlily.com. Gent Ten, 10% off twistedlily.com. It's not that hard to say. They've got a lot of niche fragrances there, including this one and a whole bunch more. So anytime you shop there, Gent Ten is your code. So this has tobacco, vanilla, cinnamon, oud, and saffron. The opening in this can be rough. If you've never smelled it before, the opening is kind of like an acquired taste. Yeah, it's one of those things where the first time you get a big whiff may not be for you. I'd say for the majority, actually, probably not gonna like it a whole lot. Once it settles though, whew, it is good. Rich, sweet, spicy, very easy to wear. Once it hits that dry down, it is alluring. It projects heavily. People love the way it smells. Big attention grabber in a positive way. It's just the opening. Just gotta make it through. You gotta power through. Once you do though, you'll be rewarded. Really nice. Ooh, next up, Paco Rabanne Purex Night. Hate that they changed the cap. I mean, yeah, it's more functional, but I like the stupid Zippo cap. Caramel, myrrh, cacao, vanilla, ginseng, and ginger. Some of the notes in the fragrance. Like how they switched that up, you know. Ginger is too boring, throw ginseng in there too. Now I love the original Purex. I think it's a fantastic fragrance, even if a lot of people don't. I think it rocks. Okay, that opening, it's good. Purex Night though is the stronger of the two. This one is got a bigger punch. Kind of considerably, actually. So it has this great effervescent, sweet, sparkling opening, but it has this resinous feel to it, so it's a little bit dark at the same time as being sparkling and sweet. It's this nice kind of contrast. Then as it dries down, of course, you've got cacao, you have vanilla, you have resin, so you've got all these sweet, kind of sexy notes melding together. Perfect scent for a night out, hence the name. Up next, a little baby bomb here, Spice Bomb Night Vision Eau de Parfum. They tried to throw everybody off the trail of how this would smell by just basically putting 42,000 notes into the fragrance breakdown. So I gotta say, I respect the pimp hand, because a lot of fragrances nowadays, they're hitting you with just 3. One in the top, one in the mid, one in the base. And that is, my friends, the most boring thing that exists. So with this one, instead of just saying, well, you know, we'll give you 3 or 4 in the top mid base, they said, nah, we'll give you 50. So you've got apple, you have cardamom, you have benzoin, and you got some nuts. Yeah, you got some nuttiness. Pistachio? You know what? I bet why they put a pistachio in here is because pistachios are green and night vision is green. Am I reading into this too much? I don't think so. I bet the perfumer just said, you know, nutty notes. And then Victor and Rolf was like pistachio? I mean, that, well, it's going to be green. Could we put that? And then the perfumer went, yeah, whatever, man. I don't care. Just pay me. So Night Vision Eau de Parfum. Some people say that this smells like Wanted by Night. Let's give it a little spray. Let's see how it smells. Yeah, I get it. So Night Vision Eau de Toilette, not so great. Yeah, a lot of people didn't really like that. But the Eau de Parfum, I'll tell you, way better in basically every single facet. Lasts longer. It's a bigger attention grabber. Great for pulling compliments if that's what you're after. And even though it does have a little similarity to Azzaro's Wanted by Night, which frankly, I love. You know, I love that scent, so not really negative for me. But even though it's got that similarity, it is a much more unique fragrance than Night Vision Eau de Toilette was. So Spice Bomb Night Vision Eau de Parfum, it's gonna give you great performance. It has an awesome dry down, big time compliment puller, fantastic for fall and winter. Is it as fantastic as this one? The next one coming up, for me personally, no, but it's a matter of taste, it's a matter of opinion. Gentleman Eau de Parfum. I love this stuff. This one's got iris, of course. It's got vanilla, Tolu Balsam, Tonka. So this one's gonna draw some comparisons to Dior Homme Intense and Valentino Uomo Intense, and that's because of iris. Yeah. The iris is the main note in here, and it does take on more of a scent profile similar to the Dior and the Valentino, as opposed to something like Prada, the way that they use iris, where it comes across more soapy. So you don't get that soapiness in here. This one's a little bit darker. It does have a good amount of sweetness from the vanilla. The tonka and the tolu balsam gives it a great kind of dark edge, almost like it's a dark vanilla in here. Really love that one for cold weather. Classy, ultra classy, office safe, fantastic evening fragrance. Love it. Now this next one right here, this one is kind of an underrated compliment monstrosity. Yeah, an abomination. Actually, that sounds bad. An abomination of compliments. A dominator of the compliment game, if that's important to you. If it's not, who cares? Compliments, who cares? I've talked about it a number of times. It's worked so well for me. It projects like a beast. It lasts forever. It's got that sweetness that people crave. You know, that sweetness that just really seems to draw attention. But it's got this little edge from roast coffee, so you get this kind of, you know, this kind of little roughness, this very slight roughness around the edges. That everything else is so smooth. You just get that little contrast that works so well. It's Ferragamo Uomo Signature. Bottle is, that's about 60% now. So you've also got tonka, leather, and cinnamon in here along with that coffee. The original Uomo was great too. The original Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo. That one works really well for pulling attention in the colder weather. It's solid also. Signature just kind of amps it up a bit. You know, it kicks it up to 11. It's such a nice line of fragrances, flies completely under the radar for 99% of people apparently. And yet every time that I've worn Uomo and Uomo Signature out and about, they've done so well for me. Last but not least, Mont Blanc Legend Eau de Parfum. Mont Blanc is just going wild right now with new flankers, the Individual Tonic, Starwalker Extreme. Those two, they didn't even announce. They just kind of popped into existence like they came from a different timeline or something, like some kind of Mandela effect. They just popped into existence, you know? And some people were like, I don't think these existed. And then you have other people like, no, man, those existed for years now. What? Am I in a different timeline, different dimension? But really, they just kind of came out of nowhere. This one, though, they actually properly announced. So, yay, I guess. Now, if you're unaware of Legend, for any reason, the original Eau de Toilette version of this fragrance, it smells like Fierce, Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. It's got a strong similarity to that one. A lot of people really like the Mont Blanc because it is so much more affordable than Fierce. Even at discounters, Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce is not cheap. So yeah, this is the Eau de Parfum version of Legend, and that's pretty much exactly what it smells like, what you would expect. You know, it's basically a richer, deeper kind of take on that DNA. I will say that with Legend Eau de Parfum, and the reason it's in this list, the dry down is that's gonna be the best part for you. The opening of it is just not quite as good as the dry down. So when you first spray this one on, don't give up on it. If you don't love it right away, let it sit on your skin for a little bit. And as it dries down, it should smell much, much, much nicer. Dry down is the most important part, because that's the part that stays on your skin the longest. So even if the opening absolutely rocks, a lot of times people aren't gonna smell that opening. Like if you're spraying it on before you go to work or spraying it on before you go out or something like that, you're gonna smell the opening. You're gonna go, oh, it smells so good. And then, you know, 30, 45 minutes later, that opening is gone, friend. So you better hope the mid and the dry down are up to par. And that one, Legend Eau de Parfum, I'm gonna wrap this video up. My face smells like Spice Bomb Night Vision Eau de Parfum. I think it smells pretty nice. Don't know if that's good for my skin. Well, I'm gonna roll, guys. Thank you for hanging with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.